to the student success priorities view. And as I was saying before, student success is at the heart of what we do. So we're all in this together, and we're hoping that you will also have the same kind of lens that we're looking out through, for helping our students. So here are students, and they're very much engaged, and that's what we want. We want our students to be engaged with our campus so that they feel like they belong here, and they feel they want to be here. So our first goal is to establish and maintain strong connections with our students. And the way we'd like to start that off is by having that first year experience coordinator. And this is a position, band B kind of position. And why do we want it? We lose over half of the first year students annually. So we work really hard, we get them in here, but we lose them. And in the past, over the past 7 years, we've never really had somebody in this kind of position. So students just out of high school go through this program, but we really need our non-trad students as well. In fact, those are the students that really need the first year experience where they get to become more connected with our faculty, with the services that we provide. Right now, we're always in a state of flux. There's different staff and changes, and it's been pretty successful, but we really would like to have a more stable kind of program. So this is our, we advocate for the first year experience coordinator, that position. Okay. Our second priority is to institutionalize the retention coordinator. So we get them in, we spend all this time, all this effort to get them in, but they come up where, academically they have some kind of challenge. And there's no one there for everyone to have a call. And many of the time, not many of the time, but much of the time, it can be just a simple call that would let the student know that they can overcome these challenges and can be successful academically at our campus. We won't lose them. So this is a person that would make the strong connection with the students and help also with the recruiting. As I go along, if you have any kind of questions, that would be the time for you to be asking us.
I'd like to make a comment on that one.
Yes.
Because when we established the...
Can you press your button? Sorry. Your button.
A button.
When we established the probation policy, it was with the understanding that the position would be funded to run it. And we ended up using Title III for Perkins money, I think, for several years. And I was on that group at the beginning, and it is a lot of work. And the people would get trained, and then the worker, and then they'd do 2 years and they'd be out of it. 1 year and they'd be out of it. We've got to start all over. So it needs to be institutionalized. And we have it on the books. So it's kind of embarrassing to have a policy and then enforce it, and the students get these notices that they're on probation, and then what? So there's no way to follow up to it. It really is close to my heart.
Yeah.
Yes, Francine.
I don't have a button, but just like that.
Keep pressing it.
Well, yeah. I do want to say as well, because we were part of the policy and we actually, I did that for a while. It's a huge responsibility, and I know that we're asking for a position, and that's great. But that position is also going to need support, because the kind of support the student will need is intensive counseling needing, and the number of students that were on academic probation was huge. So I just wanted to stress the importance that the position also gets support.
And really, especially in the tight budgeting, we have no money now, or very little money. The more money we take in with the students staying, the more stable we'll be financially. So we want our students to come to us, but we also want them to stay. right? And that's exactly what Louis said this morning. He said higher enrollment means higher revenue, right? So this position, as well as the first position with the first year experience coordinator, will go hand in hand in getting our students, getting them connected, and keeping them here, and having them be successful. So when they're successful, we're all successful, right? We have more money, we have, more leeway. We don't have to work as hard because we don't have to keep recruiting and recruiting, more people. So here we are at the Hong Kong Beach, and they do a really great job in, connecting with their community and their students. Goal 2 is to collaborate and address and support the majority of struggling students, especially Native Hawaiian and minority students who place in developmental English and math. So we advocate for tutors in the classroom. And this kind of thing has been happening in Title III, which is Ben and Carrie Ann's program. It has been very, very successful, as well as in the math, developmental math programs that they've had, and they've had some wild, successes. Normally those kinds of classes, maybe they might graduate maybe 20%, and they've been having like 80 or 90% people being successful in these classes. So we found that these tutors in the classroom really do work, and it's very little money for what you get. The students themselves, they connect with the tutors, they're able to understand the tutors better. We had a lady come in who was a non-trad student, older lady, and she had a tutor that was this kid. And actually, I know him very well. He's my HOSA student, Saito Kawa. And he said, I didn't know what this kid could teach me, but really, in the end, it was like her grandson. And he could speak in her language, and she could learn from him. But it also helps the tutors, too, our students, who are the tutors, because they get this feeling, you can't teach unless you know the material, right? So it's a really win-win kind of thing. And it's not that much money because we're going to be utilizing students to be tutors. So this program is a really, not program, but this part of it is, really money well spent.
Can I ask a question, Laura, since you're here? Currently, the tutors that we have in English and math, are they funded by grants?
They have been. I think right now they're funded by, this particular semester, they're funded by the Learning Center out of their budget.
And so this slide kind of shows you the gap between Native Hawaiian students and non-Native Hawaiian students in the developmental classes, and we really need to close that gap. And we see it happening in, like I said, Ben's program, the Title III program. So it's quite something that's really doable, has been done, and like I said, not that much funding. Okay, number 2, continue to monitor and support innovations in classroom use of technology. And that's the same, along the same line, except this is online tutoring, such as, brain fuse. And for the outreach sites, really, that's the only kind of tutoring that is that they have. So it's something that really, really need, and a lot of students do use this. And continue to monitor and support innovations in classrooms and use of technology to increase learning. That's that saying that brain fuse and using that sort of thing. Any questions about that or any comments, Diana?
Yeah, I want to say on the brain fuse, I think from year to year, we try and fund it out of various funds, whatever we can find. And it would be good if we had it in the budget so we know that we're going to get it, because it is important. It really does help the students. That's tutoring that a lot of students or online students get, and we get to pay them outreach to the tutoring we really provide.
And I wanted to just read a quote from Christine Corey-Smith of the Learning Center. She said that 50.2% of those who attended 2 or more tutoring sessions at the TLC passed the class they were tutored in. So that's quite a high number, 58%. And from Sam Bowl, she said the success of the Math Lab student tutors is evident and aligned with best practices of teaching. The success rate in Math 18, Math 18, that's, developmental math, where we really struggle to have them pass these classes, increased by 16% since the implementation of the Math Lab student tutors. So, quite a big jump just by having tutors.
The tech upgrades.
Oh, the tech upgrades, yes. And this is something we all, live with every day. We have old computers. So we really need to upgrade our computers and have working computers and not have the situation where, my computer's broken. Okay, let me go and see which program has a computer to help me. We really need to have working computers so that they can utilize all of these programs that we want to use for our students.
I have a question on that, because I'm also a student that, I type something up on a Mac and put it on the regular Dell, it will not bring it up because of the codes and differences, and maybe it needs a Microsoft download.
And there's so many issues of that kind where we're just not, upgraded to the standard that we really need to have the instructors and counselors, everyone, work in the capacity that they can. Okay, so this is the lab. Okay, maintain institutional research practices that inform and understand educational effectiveness. Now, this is a position, and people that do this work right now, they have told us that they cannot maintain what, a full-time kind of thing. And so you know that if you ask Jeannie, because Jeannie has all these other things that she is responsible for, if you ask her for some help, you're going to write a grant, you need some concrete data, she has very little time to give you. So we would like a full position so that any of you can get this kind of data. You can give them the information, or they can ask you, and many times, we can delve deeper into the situation so we can find out, hey, what's happening in spring? Spring to fall, very different kind of classes. Why is that? Why don't we persist from fall to spring, or from, fall to fall? So the institutional instructional person researcher can find these answers for you. And we have data from Leeward. So this is from Leeward CC that illustrates the result of 100 students from beginning to graduation. We could do this for our campus, not Leeward. So many times when we're writing grants, we use information from other campuses for nationwide, but we don't use it from our own campus. And if we can get this kind of information, then we can fix it, right? We can find out, okay, maybe it's because we don't have childcare here. Maybe we can fix it. But, we don't have that kind of person that can help us get this kind of information. So this is what this position person would do. Okay. This is another example of what Leeward does. They have a full-time position, and this person can tell you exactly what's happening in certain classes, in your class. Why don't you build a certain class? Well, maybe it's not at the right time, or maybe it's something else that we don't even know the question to ask. But this person would be trained in that kind of thing to be able to get that kind of information for us, so we can be more effective. So just to summarize, first priority would be that first year experience coordinator, help us get them in, get connected to them. Second, retention counselor, they're here, we want them to stay here, we'll be more effective, we'll have more money because, they'll stay here, we don't have to put as much effort to that regard. The math lab tutors, any kind of tutoring will help. So math lab tutors, English in-class tutors, the brain freeze, the online tutors, the tech upgrades that we all need, you all know about that. And then as well as the institutional researchers, so we can work smarter, we can work better, and we can maybe get more grants and things like that so we can get more money. Any questions?
I have a comment.
Yeah.
Unusual. No, this came out of the Achieving Degree Student Success Committee, and it's a group of probably 25, 30 people.
A lot of people, many of you maybe.
struggled and struggled over the goals and the achievements and the different things, and it ended up that for student success, these are the ones that we highlighted today are the ones that we think would really improve student retention and student persistence and graduation rates. So this was well thought out. It wasn't just picked out of the air and said, oh, we like this, I want that, I want that. No, this took a lot of work and a lot of research.
And it's not what you do, it's who we are, right? Student success.
Yeah.
So it affects all of you, no matter where you come from. So we hope that you can get these priorities for us. Yes, of course.
So just to clarify, the math and English tutors would be students, would be funding for students.
Yes, correct. So, like I said, even the tutors themselves will be benefiting by this. But, financial support as well as learning, right? When you're teaching somebody, I always learn, when I'm teaching as well.
And just to clarify, they're actually grant funded currently from the C3T grant.
They are what?
Correct.
They are grant funded this
No.
semester from C3T.
Yeah, the math and English too.
Is that going to continue?
We're done now.
You
This
don't
is
know.
round one.
Okay, see, so, okay.
Yeah, so we really need that kind of thing. And it helps all of us, right? If our students can come through, finish up those developmental classes and come to your classes. Yes.
I have a comment. You all know that we're pretty passionate about orientation because that's what we do in student life. And it's really great to see that FIE position is up there to be able to, focus more in that area. But I do want to say that after extensive research that we've done, to make an FIE program a success, it does take the entire campus.
Yes.
I mean, really, if you could see our campus dedicate a whole day to our new students and make them feel special, they are our customers, and I'm hoping that maybe that person in that position can get that support from the campus.
But that's what you need, somebody always there so they can build upon their successes and make these relationships so the campus feels like they can come and, be a part of all of this.
So we have about 2 more minutes.
Anybody else? Is any parting comments on student success? So mainly, remember, it's all about all of us, right? We all are about student success. So when you vote, take this with you and, keep that in mind, please. Thank you.
Okay, our next group will be Hoi Papa Okeao, and they'll be coming in about 2 minutes.
Are they bringing their own plug-in?
Yes. I'll go check. I'll see what